All right, guys, we're going to talk about Cobra Kai. Here's the thing. I'm not going to state this. Cobra Kai, I'll admit, was a very great show, but I'll also admit that there were some bad stuff going on. There was bad execution of characters, scenes, and relationships, etc. Starting with it, I really didn't like the way that they made Daniel be throughout most of the series and stuff in the earlier seasons. Look, I think he's better in the later seasons, but I mean, it's kind of like when I was watching Full House to Fuller House. I liked DJ when she was younger, but once she became in her adulthood, she became a character I disliked as a person. And when we get to when we get into Cobra Kai versus Karate Kid, I understand they're teenagers, it's easy to know who the villain is. But when you get into Cobra Kai and stuff, Daniel's running around like a psychotic maniac, raising up the rent for Johnny and stuff. And look, Johnny's Cobra Kai wasn't as bad as Kreese's and Terry Silver's was. I mean, he's just having these post-traumatic stress disorder execution of it, and it's bad execution on that. Then Amanda doesn't really know the story until she meets her cousin. I think her cousin's name was Jessica, and Jessica pretty much tells her the story of Terry Silver and stuff. But she's a hypocrite because she gets into a bar fight. It's like, what the hell, man? Come on. Hawk and all of them are fine, but I think the worst execution is the way of just throwing Sam and everyone into a rivalry. You get a rivalry, and you get a rivalry, you get a rivalry, you get a rivalry. Robbie versus Hawk, Hawk versus Miguel, Miguel versus Hawk, Robbie, so forth and so on. And then the whole other thing of Anthony just being a bully is so out of pocket for me because it's just like, yeah, I get that he was the low person on the totem pole of the family and you act out to get attention and stuff sometimes when you get neglected that way and stuff. But I think it was just such out of pocket that the writers were just saying, hey, let's do something where we saw it on YouTube where someone tried to explain that Daniel was kind of the bully in the Karate Kid film, so maybe they did something along the lines of that. But I think it was just bad execution after bad execution. Like, I think Sam and Tori could have had a great friendship / rivalry from the beginning, but they had to have that bad execution with both of them and stuff, with them both starting the rivalry worse than it already was, such as, Sam assuming that Tori stole the wallet because she saw her steal a bottle of liquor and stuff. And honestly, personally, I would feel the same way. I would assume that as well. And there's miscommunication between Robbie and Sam in that situation. But yeah, there are a lot of stuff that I think bad execution in it, including the stupid love square triangle thing. I hate love triangles. I hate love squares. A lot of them in TVDU, I will explain why I don't like those ones on the CW network, but that's neither here or there. The point is that, let's face it, Robbie was a rebound for Sam. Tori was a rebound for Miguel. Miguel and Sam made sense. Tori and Robbie, I think, kind of makes sense. I just don't really think that Cobra Kai was bad ultimately. It was just that there were certain aspects in the show that had bad execution. And then, Johnny and Daniel finally becoming friends was great, but there was bad execution after bad execution in certain aspects of the show. I mean, it's like saying this on a sports paper, right? Or something on paper. Hey, your team's really good and stuff. You have the number one defense, the number one offense and stuff. But if you can't execute properly, you're going to make mistakes and potentially lose that game, and then you're no longer the best team in the country because of that. And that's the way that Cobra Kai is that the show was probably one of the greatest shows ever, but there is some bad execution in the show that makes it seem like I don't enjoy it as I once did and stuff. I still love the show, but there is some stuff that is bad. Now, is it a bad show? No. Is there bad execution? 100%. That happens with every show and everything going on. But let me know your thoughts on it. But I personally think that Cobra Kai had some bad execution.